Coming up tonight on YCN News, an arrest is made in the case of a fire deliberately set this summer in Newport. An updated website where people can see and buy New Hampshire-made items is ready for consumers. And the town of Plainfield celebrates Halloween with a month-long array of pumpkin people. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. There's been an arrest in a fire police say was deliberately set this summer in Newport. 26-year-old Corey Hale of Green Street in Claremont is charged by law enforcement with one count of arson in a fire at 11 Central Street in Newport. The fire broke out at 2:27 a.m. on Saturday, May 31st. There were 3 other suspicious fires in a densely settled area of Newport called into 911 that early morning, beginning at 1:20 a.m. and ending at 4:30 a.m. The first fire was at the dumpster at 6 Laurel Street, then an external structure fire at 82 Maple Street, then the Central Street fire, and lastly, a structure fire at 24 Sullivan Street. Members of the Newport Police, the State Fire Marshal's Office, and Sullivan County Attorney's Office, Mark Hathaway, continue to investigate the fires. More arrests could happen, Newport Police Chief James Burrows says in a press release. Newport was not the only town affected by the rash of fires that May morning. Additional mutual aid towns were called to assist. Crews from those mutual Croydon, Claremont, Goshen, Sunapee, and New London fire departments. Hale was taken into custody yesterday. He is set to appear on the one arson charge on December 16th in Newport District Court. Also in Newport, a business story with a bright outcome. The high-tech manufacturing firm RDS Machines will receive a $4 million loan to help it keep 70 jobs and possibly add more, the Eagle Times reports. The grant is from the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Precision components for the nation's defense and aerospace industries are part of the work done by the North Main Street firm. In other business news, pride in American-made products continues to grow. In New Hampshire, an updated website where people can see and buy Granite State-made items is ready for consumers. The website is nhmade.com, is your one-stop shopping site for all things New Hampshire. Changes to the website include making it easier to use. Both at the retail and wholesale levels, viewers can see items to buy and get ideas for fundraising projects. New Hampshire-made Executive Director Trish Ballantyne worked with Mikael Stedman of Stedman Media Group on the new website. The redesign comes shortly before the winter holiday shopping season begins. Ballantyne says shopping locally is the best way to boost the state's economy. To learn more about NH Made and its members, visit nhmade.com or call 603-679-9800. Turning to Vermont news, the death of a couple in their 80s is considered closed, say Vermont State Police. Drowning is the official cause of death listed for 81-year-old Lawrence Daly and 80-year-old Ruth Daly. The Dalys lived in Peru, Vermont, a town in Bennington County. Police found the couple's bodies yesterday afternoon. Neighbors and friends of the Dalys became concerned after they had not heard from them in a few days. The couple was later discovered drowned in a small pond on a property that Lawrence Daly was a caretaker for. The police investigation revealed that at this time of year, Ruth and Lawrence were known to use a small boat to prepare the small pond for winter. Although the Dalys were able to swim, police say medical conditions are believed to have contributed to the accident. Nothing suspicious was found at the scene of the investigation, police report. Foul play is not suspected. When YCN News returns, we'll learn more about the pumpkin people decorating yards across Plainfield, New Hampshire.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. October is the month where all things Halloween begin to appear. One town in New Hampshire has become locally famous for its special decorations. Passers-by might drive through and think they've seen a man raking the lawn or a kid waving from the driveway. But a closer look will show these aren't just any people, they're pumpkin people. Lawns across every village in Plainfield have popped up with adorable and ghostly scenes of pumpkin people, all because of a few neighbors coming together with a fun idea. Let's learn more from the Plainfield Town Administrator, Stephen Halloran.
The Plainfield Pumpkin Project started back in 2012 over in East Plainfield, a little village north on Route 120. A man by the name of John Austin began putting these things up in his yard, and it quickly spread to neighbors. And last year, they really spread. I think we had over a couple of hundred of them around town. And again, this year we have pumpkin people all over Plainfield. And the thing that's really nice about it each fall is that it's not an organized event by any one individual. Every homeowner that wants to participate is free to express themselves any way they want. The kids get involved, the parents get involved. And so we now have pumpkin people each fall. It starts in the end of September and runs through Halloween. And they spring up all over town in all sorts of configurations, from, as I say, in East Plainfield all the way over to the Connecticut River on the Plainfield Plain side of town. And so it's been a really good community project that unites us all. We don't think of ourselves as different villages. We think of ourselves as all the town of Plainfield. And I think it's been very, very popular, and we look forward to doing it for many years to come.
Some of the pumpkin people decorations may be down after tonight, but if you'd like to take a look at some pictures of the many creative displays from this year, check out our Facebook page at YCN News Now for a link to their site. Ernie Garceau has seen a lot of life. He fought in World War II, including the Solomon Islands and the Battle of Bougainville. He returned to New Hampshire and settled in Sullivan County after the war. Now, he's also experienced another milestone for his service. We Honor Veterans is a program supported by the Lake Sunapee VNA. Along with the outreach provided to Garceau by the Lake Sunapee Region VNA and Hospice, Garceau took a military honor flight of honor. Veterans travel with guardians to Washington, D.C. to see the monuments dedicated to them for their bravery and service. Garceau was 21 when he enlisted in the Army, serving in the Pacific Theater. To learn more about Ernie Garceau's military experiences, including a serious bayonet injury, go online to our Facebook page, YCN News Now. Remember to turn your home and auto clocks back 1 hour this Sunday morning. Daylight savings time ends at 2 a.m. Think fall back, spring ahead. If you're wondering about the spring ahead part, when the clocks get turned ahead an hour and you lose an hour of sleep, mark your calendars for Sunday, March 8th. When YCN News returns, we'll join Kearsarge Chronicles' Lynn Solomon, who met with Sue King from Skivview Alpacas.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we have cloudy skies with lows in the upper 30s. Tomorrow we'll have a 40% chance of rain after 11 a.m. Skies will be cloudy with highs around 50 degrees and winds up to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night we'll have a 50% chance of rain with winds around 10 miles per hour. Lows will be in the 30s with cloudy skies. Sunday we have a chance of snow before 8 a.m. Temperatures will drop to a high of 44 degrees with winds around 20 miles per hour, and some gusts as high as 35. Sunday night will be partly cloudy with lows in the mid-20s. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire, the Charlestown Senior Center will hold a turkey supper from 5 to 6 p.m. Also at 5 p.m., the United Church of Winchester will have a bean supper. In Hanover, the Dartmouth College Wind Ensemble will perform at 8 p.m. at the Hopkins Center for the Arts. On Sunday in Vermont, the Norwich Select Board will meet at 6 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Tonight in our sports news, we have some local team tournament victories to report on. Starting with volleyball, the Sunapee Lakers claimed the victory in the Division IV first round against Belmont. The final score was 3-0. The Lakers will move on to the quarterfinals against Moultonborough tomorrow at 6 p.m. There were 2 girls' soccer games in which our teams will move on in their respective tournaments. Hanover dominated Kennett in a 7-0 victory. Also yesterday, the Sunapee Lakers had an evening match with Linwood. Both teams fought hard and demonstrated strong defense, keeping the ball away from both goals for quite some time. Linwood's goalie blocked many Sunapee goal attempts successfully. However, Sunapee managed 2 goals, which brought them to a 2-0 victory.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, I'll join Lisa Connell for this week's News and Review.
The YCN News continues in a moment.